friends, welcome once again to Sam's Everyday Cooking, and today we are making a very traditional kebab called Shami Kebab. Now every family has their own recipe for making Shami Kebab, and there may be hundreds of versions of Shami Kebab. This is my version and I hope you like it. It's very simple. It looks a little bit complicated because it's got so many ingredients, but it's quite simple to make it. So let's begin. So we have two stages when you make a Shami Kebab. One is when you cook the dal, which is the gram dal, chana dal, and then you have a cooked mince meat. People prefer mutton or beef or chicken, whichever one you like. I've used mutton. And then you mix the two up, you cook it together, and then you make it into kebabs. Over here, 1 kilo of mince meat. And what I've done is, this is mutton by the way, I have marinated this with 3 tablespoons of garlic ginger paste. So this has got garlic ginger paste. I've mixed it up and I've kept it overnight just so that it cooks very fast because it's marinated well in garlic ginger. Now we need about a cup of water. That's for cooking the meat. 1 potato soaked in water. Many people don't put potato in Shami Kebab. I do, and there's a reason, because it helps bind the kebabs better and it keeps it moist. Some rock salt. 1 cup of mint leaves, fresh mint leaves. They're beautiful green fresh mint leaves. The garlic ginger that I use for marinating the meat. Now the other things are, we have green chili, bunch of coriander leaves with the stalks always. I have some dill leaves. These are fresh dill leaves, and this gives a really nice flavor to the Shami Kebab. A lot of people don't put it, but I like it. So 1 tablespoon of coriander seed powder, roasted of course. 1 whole teaspoon of turmeric powder. 1 tablespoon of cumin powder, roasted and then ground. 1 tablespoon of garam masala, homemade. And here we have a bay leaf, cinnamon stick, black cardamom, and 2 green cardamoms. This is for boiling the dal. Also we have 2 pieces of charcoal. This is going to be used for smoking it when the kebabs, the mixture of the kebab is ready. We will smoke it before we form into kebabs. I have this is gram dal, and what I've done is I've taken 1 cup of gram dal and soaked it into water, which is about 2 cups of water, and this has been soaking for about 3-4 hours. This helps the dal swell up very well, and it also cooks much faster. Now I've got a fairly large size pressure cooker for this, and that's because we have almost 1 kilo of mincemeat, so we need a big pressure cooker. We are going to add the mincemeat to the pressure cooker. Adding the mincemeat, which has been marinating with garlic ginger paste, and this the reason I add garlic ginger and marinate the meat is because the meat cooks faster and it gets a nice flavor as well because of the garlic and ginger. To this we are going to add all our masalas here. To add our masalas now, so this is cumin, the garam masala, coriander seeds, turmeric powder. Roughly chop up the onion. I'm going to use the stalks of the coriander leaves. Like I told you before also, I find the stalks very flavorful, so I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to keep the leaves for the chutney that we are going to prepare later on. So this is the stalk of the coriander. This is the onion. I'm also going to use some of the stalk of the dill leaves because they have a lot of flavor and they taste really nice. So we use some of the stalks of this as well, and we keep the leaves for later on. I'm going to add all this to the pressure cooker now. In goes our coriander stalks, our onions, our dill stalks. We're going to add in now our green chilies, our chopped potatoes, and then 1 cup of water. So you add a little bit of water and you first stir it well. And also you have to remember that the mince meat will also release its own water. So we don't want too much water in this mince meat, just enough for it to cook. We have to still add in our salt. We're going to add in 1 tablespoon of rock salt. And then we will taste and adjust later. Like I have always told you, please keep tasting your food, adjusting according to your flavors. Your taste is very important. Some people like it spicy, some don't. So please add extra chilies if you like it. I think 4 should be enough, but we will see later. 1 heapful spoon of salt. Now this is going to cook for 15 minutes on a medium-high flame. So this is the second part of the recipe. Now basically Shami Kebab is what? It's meat mixed with gram dal, mashed together, made into kebabs and then fried. So this, what we are doing over here is that we have already pre-soaked our gram dal like I told you. I'm using a tea infuser so that the masala, the dry masala is not all over the dal and it's easy to remove. So in a tea infuser, you put bay leaves, cinnamon, the black cardamom, green cardamoms, break a little bit, black cardamom, green cardamom, and we're going to close this. And it's very simple, you just place this inside and you hang it over here. So you get the flavors of all the spices in the dal, but you don't get the spices in the dal as such. And then you add in half a teaspoon of rock salt, because we've already added some salt in the mincemeat, so I don't want too much salt. We can always add it later. As you can see, when the dal is boiling, you will get this froth on top of this, from the dal. So please do remove it. You don't need this, and it makes the dal very cloudy. Now for the third stage of this, and that's to make the chutney. So we have kept the mincemeat to boil, our dal is boiling, and now whilst both the things are being boiling, we're going to prepare the chutney. Just roughly chop up the coriander leaves, green chilies that we had taken earlier, which were 4, and we're taking another 2, because after all this is 1 kilo of mincemeat, and I'm taking a kilo because I have to prepare for a party and I'm making a lot of Shami Kebabs. You by all means can reduce the quantity. You can take 250 grams of mincemeat and everything, just downsize it after that. So this is mint leaves, roughly chopped up, because it's all going to go into a food processor. We'll be adding the mint leaves, the coriander leaves, and the green chili. I'm not adding the dill leaves because dill leaves I'm going to chop it and put them in the kebabs. I'm not going to make the chutney. 2 tablespoons of water. So to this coriander, mint leaves, and green chili, I'm going to add a little bit of salt, like a teaspoon of salt, not too much, because the dal has got the salt, the mincemeat has got the salt. It's too much salt otherwise. As you can see, it's not like a chutney, it's not very fine, because I'm not going to add any water. Shami kebabs will not bind if there is too much water in it. So it's kind of not very fine, but not very rough either. But as the mincemeat, when you add the mincemeat and it blends together, it'll become fine. But don't add extra water, not more than 2 tablespoons. Our dal has been cooking as well, and it's almost done. There's a little more liquid in there, so we'll allow it to cook for another 5-7 minutes or so. As you can see, this dal must be so mashed up. It should mash up like this completely. This dal is completely done. We are going to remove the tea infuser from there. And we are going to add this dal with the mincemeat. This has been cooking for the past 15 minutes. It still has some liquid in it. We have to allow it to dry some more. Now in the meantime, we are going to add the cooked dal in it. And so I'm adding the dal all into the mincemeat. And this must incorporate together and cook some more together. Then it has to completely cool down before I can put it into the food process. I cannot put it right now because it's still very hot. Say another 10 minutes. So all in all, it'll take you after the mincemeat is cooked, it'll take you about 15-20 minutes for the mincemeat to dry the liquid out. As you can see, our mincemeat and our dal mixture has been cooling for 40-45 minutes. It's very moist, as you can see, but there's not any excess liquid anymore in it. So now we are going to put in the food processor and we are going to mash it up. As you know that there's already chutney in there, so it'll all mix together and it'll become a very delicious Shami Kebab. Okay, we are going to whiz it in this food processor. Our kebab mixture is all ready. As you can see over here, it's nice and soft. So I'm finally chopping up the dill leaves that are going to be, this is going to be added to the Shami Kebab mixture. Very, very fine. And mix it very well. I can't tell you how beautiful it smells. The dill leaves really smell nice. This is mixed well, and now we are going to smoke it. So for smoking, what we do is I have switched on the hob. I've put a mesh over it and I'm going to place the charcoal over it. My kebab mixture is ready. We've got a piece of foil here. I've got a bottle of oil, the lid, everything should be ready. So as soon as the charcoal is ready and it's nicely lit up, we will place it here. We will pour some oil over it and cover it up quickly. As you can see, our charcoal is really red hot, and now I'm going to pour some oil over it and quickly close it. So the smoking is done now and we can discard off the charcoal. And we'll allow this mixture to completely cool and then we will start making the kebabs. Okay friends, so our Shami Kebab meat is completely cooled down and we're going to start making the kebabs now. I'm only going to be frying 4 kebabs to show you. The rest I'm going to freeze them because it's a lot of kebab mixture here. We have over here breadcrumbs. I've taken 1 egg, but for this quantity you would need about 4 eggs if you're going to fry them all. And then I have a little bit of chili powder and cumin powder and some salt to season the breadcrumbs and the egg. So let's start and I'll show you how to freeze them as well as fry them if you're using it immediately. First, prepare the breadcrumbs. So I've got breadcrumbs which are homemade and I'm going to spread them in this tray over here. And then add the red chili powder and the cumin powder. This is just so that it spices up even the breadcrumbs and it gives a really nice extra punch to it. And then some salt. Lightly just mix them up. Shami kebabs are made in so many various ways, They're different shapes, there are different stuffings. This I'm showing you is the basic Shami kebab. So you must nicely press it together so they don't fall apart. And I'm making round ones, just basic round ones. You can see, all right. And then we are going to roll it in the breadcrumbs. Press it nicely, roll it on the sides as well. And this should be the size of your kebab, not more than this. I'll show you one more. Press it well together, then flatten it. There. And then roll it on either sides and round the edges. Kilo will make approximately 36 Shami kebabs, and this is about 34, and I have a little bit more of the mince meat, which is balanced, and I'm going to show you why, because I want to show you two ways of making Shami kebab this time. So here I have a Tupperware, and I have some plastic sheets over here. You know, this is the plastics that come out from ready-made parathas, and I always wash them and keep them. They are very useful. I'm going to put this in the base and then start putting my Shami kebabs in there. Now this can be kept in the freezer, and whenever you have a sudden guest or you don't want to make anything last minute, you'll always have these Shami kebabs in the freezer. They're easy to make. You just remove from the freezer, defrost them, cover them with egg and fry them. They taste exactly like fresh kebabs. So we have one layer of this. Then we put another layer of plastic over it, and then we place some more Shami kebabs over it. We're taking one egg. We're going to crack one egg and beat it up with a little bit of salt in it. Not too much, because Shami kebabs are well salted already. Oil is also ready for frying. It's just plain a light sunflower oil, and it's about, I would say, 2 cups of oil in a small frying pan. For a bigger batch, you'll need a bigger frying pan. To check if the oil is ready, I'm just going to put a little bit of breadcrumbs and see, okay, the oil is absolutely ready. We are going to start putting our Shami kebabs in there. Now, once you place the Shami kebabs in the oil, you take some oil and you cover it on this side as well with the hot oil, so it seals the kebabs and there's no chance of it breaking. Turn it around. You take a fork and you gently turn the kebabs around. Yeah. They're looking beautiful and golden, and they're also very delicious. So there are some people who also make the Shami kebab by adding the egg into the mincemeat mixture, and I'm going to show you that method as well. So I'm going to take the meat, the kebab mixture, the cooked meat I mean, and I'm going to add it into the egg and very well mix it up. Two different ways of making kebab, and they both taste delicious. It's entirely up to you the way you want to make them. And a little bit of the leftover breadcrumbs. This is just for binding together. Not too much, just a little bit. And then you mix it all up. Now this kebab can't be deep fried. This has to be just pan fried to all the oil, and there's barely 1 tablespoon of oil in this pan, and we are going to shallow fry these kebabs. These are more delicate kebabs, and they're not good for freezing. This has to be made and immediately served. As you can see, this is the softer version of making the kebab, and it has to be very gently handled. and placed the oil. Now this can't be made on very high heat, so it's medium high. So as you can see, these kebabs are very gentle, they're very soft, and they are very delicious as well. Friends, here we have two different kinds of kebabs ready. We have the Shami kebab with the egg inside, which is also very delicious. And then we have the kebab where we have rolled it in eggs and then fried them. So this is another kind of kebab. This one over here is the more delicate one, and this it can be frozen and then fried whenever you feel like it. So we have our Shami kebabs ready, and I hope you enjoy and do try it out now. So okay friends, we have 2 boxes of Shami kebab. I'm going to cover this with another plastic over here and close it up, and this goes into my freezer, both these boxes over here. And we have a beautiful plate of fried Shami kebab. I hope you do try it and let me know how it works out for you. If you've made a mistake somewhere, please do let me know so I can help you with it. And please join me again on Sam's Everyday Cooking. Subscribe, pass your comments and your feedbacks. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me once again. Bye-bye.